What you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just want it all. Oh, what you know about me? I seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me? Oh, what you know about me?
Hey, y'all, welcome back to More Than the Title, episode 269 of your favorite podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital and founder of More Than the Title. I just want to say, y'all, man, I'm excited, man. This is going to be a great episode. I got a lot of stories to tell. And before we begin, man, you know how we like to start the show. Grateful and thankful. Thank you to everybody who's communicated with us, that's followed us, supported us along this journey from TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitch. TikTok, y'all going crazy for us right now. And I just want to say I appreciate it. You know what that means? And I'm just grateful. I just want to thank God, man, to be honest with you guys, because I'm here to do it another day. I'm doing something I love to do. I'm following my purpose, my passion. And it's the hardest thing ever. But another day swinging, that means another opportunity to change lives. And the mission stays the mission. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to show people what's possible. The people we have on is here so they can show you what's possible. And it's not always easy, and it's not always linear. And I'm going to give you a quick monologue because something that was crazy that my son just asked me. He was like, yo, Dad, do you ever get nervous talking to these people? I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, does Dad get nervous? But all honesty, I just told him, man, nervousness is just being, a lack of preparedness. I'm always prepared. I study. I put in the work. My heart is in the right reason, and I trust my gut. 90% of the things that have happened as an outcome of this show has happened because I followed my gut. And I'll give you guys a quick example. I'm sitting there driving on the West Side Highway, middle of the highway. We're going to an event. My baby puts on the radio. What comes on? Cupid 112. And we're just sitting there zoning. We're on the highway, wind blowing. We just whoop, Cupid. We sitting there growing. And I'm like, baby, who the hell made the beat? Because that's fire. And I'll go onto Google as we're driving. Pull it up, it says Michael Keith. At that one moment, something told me to reach out to that brother. Followed him on Instagram, immediately shot the shot. And guess what? Within a month of that shot, that brother was on the show. And he was on the show 4 days before Joe and Jada. And I'm just a guy doing it from the couch in the middle of Parkchester, in the middle of the South Bronx. So I say that to say anything is possible when you follow your gut. Just trust it. Because I've never been scared to be me. I've only been scared to be them. And if you're them, you know what I'm saying? If you're you, you can never be nervous. So be yourself. Trust your gut, guys, and you'll always be successful. And that's what I've lived my life on. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Let's start the show.
Brothers in the building.
Yes, sir.
My guys in the first one, we get a horn before the introduction, baby.
Hey, that's what I love, man. That's where we kick things off. You know what I'm saying?
A horn before the introduction, man. First of all, for everybody, first-time listeners, welcome to More Than the Title. Right? This is a podcast. We go beyond what you do and really get into who you are, how you got there, and the impact you're really trying to make and what you're really making. So this brother right here has inspired me. And so if you're not familiar with him, but this brother he's a marketing leader who's built his career at the intersection of culture, creativity, and responsibility. He's currently the Chief Marketing and Growth Officer at AKQA, but his journey spurs for some of the most influential brands in the world, from Nike to Google to Lyft to Westbrook Media, working alongside Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. He's also the co-founder of the Monday Night Mentorship, sits on the board of the Marcus Graham Project, and is someone who understands that if you're in the room, it's your responsibility to open the door. So you guys have seen him in the boardroom. You guys have seen him on the stages. You've seen him behind the scenes on some of your favorite campaigns. And now he's on your favorite podcast for the very first time. Let's introduce my brother, Jabari Hearn.
Hey, I like that intro, son. Let's go. I need to get to the South Bronx right now.
Come on, baby. It's an honor, man. It's an honor. This is a long time coming. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen, brother. And I'm just honored to have you here, brother. So talk to me, man. Let's talk to the beginning. Because by the end of this, I want people to understand what it takes to be successful, especially us, man. So I would love to get into the mindset, brother, and just tell us, early influences and growing up, bro.
Brother, man, I'm just a kid from Chicago. I love your intro, man, what you talked about, you know what I mean? Because I just grew up with a dream, and I think many of us grew up with a dream. Like, I don't know if you're from the city, like I grew up on the porch where the cars would go by and I'm like, yo, that's my car. Yo, that's my car. That's my car. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm driving, we in the back seat. I'm like, yo, that's my house. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden we just stopped dreaming. So like, I'm really here to inspire people to dream again, man, because I feel like God gave us that ability for a really specific reason, man, for us to really envision a future that doesn't exist for us is a powerful thing. You know what I mean? And I think that it's been dumbed down in us. It's been pushed down in a way until we got to think reality, when no, we don't actually. You know what I mean? We still should be dreaming for ourselves. We still should be shooting our shot. We still should be going for it, because I feel like we were all born to be like this most magnificent version of ourselves. You know what I mean?
Underdog is just a title. We more than that. Who called us underdogs? We didn't call ourselves that.
No underdog ever called themselves an underdog. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it, big bro. But talk about some early influence. But in order to have that mindset, it had to be some influences and some sort of foundation to be like, yo, look, this is what excellence looks like, and this is what you can be. So what was that for you, bro?
Absolutely, man. Like, again, I grew up from Chicago. A lot of like soul in Chicago. You know what I mean? Where cast is really about what's real. You know what I mean? My father is one of 8. My mom is one of 9. So like, I had a lot of uncles, I had a lot of cousins, that would teach you just about like life, you know what I'm saying? Where like you talk funny, they're gonna punch you in your chest, you know what I'm saying? Like they expect you to, clean up. They expect you to be respectful. Your aunts and uncles expect you to act right. My name is not Dorothy, it's Auntie Dorothy, you know what I'm saying? So like there's sort of things that you grew up in sort of that soulful Black culture, especially where I grew up in Chicago, that sets a real strong foundation. Plus, I grew up during the Michael Jordan era, during the Super Bowl shuffle era. You know what I'm saying? So like I was a sports town where it was all about excellence. It was about working hard. You know what I'm saying? It was about, really setting the standard. When you think about a Michael Jordan, a young Black kid trying to be somebody in Chicago. If you grew up during the time frame I grew up in, if you didn't model yourself after Michael Jordan, then something's up, you know what I'm saying? So like,
imagine being in Chicago during the height. Like when you think about it now, like that's crazy.
Come on, man. Imagine your whole YMCA team getting on a bus going to see Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like that is impossible to get tickets after a while, but like that was nothing for us. You know what I mean? And then I was lucky enough to continue as I graduated high school. I was, a counselor at his camp where you get to be really close to him and under his wing and hear how he thinks, how he wants to develop the next generation, and then to go on and work at Wieden & Kennedy where you really are like behind the scenes of the storytelling of his brand and the Nike brand. Like, bro, the foundation I got was like none other, you know what I mean? None other. And I didn't even talk about my foundation in the Lord, like my parents, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole nother podcast.
No, let's get into that, man. What's some of the best game that your parents, mom or pops gave you? What's one thing that's always stuck to you that you've implemented in your life today, bro? It's one thing.
Hey, just to work hard, man. My dad was one of those guys who got up early in the morning, had a suit on every day with a briefcase. You know what I mean? He would go into the office and I go in with him. And as he's walking to his office, everybody's like, hey, Major, how y'all doing? Everybody knew him, you know what I'm saying? He was smiling at everybody from the janitor to the, you know what I mean, to the boss or whatever, it didn't matter. And so that I always model myself to that, man, being a likable person, somebody who other people want to be around, bringing good energy to a room, you know what I mean? Treating everybody like they're the Queen of England, you know what I mean? No matter who they are, like that was the foundation I came from.
That sounds like my pops, man. My pops worked 2 jobs for 27 years, from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, brother.
Bruh.
And selling clothes in the evening, selling clothes in the afternoon.
On the weekend.
He sold clothes in front of Macy's. I'm like, how the hell you do that? Pops is a straight hustler. Everybody in the neighborhood know Pops.
Hey, you got to figure it out, bro. Like, nobody cares. You got to figure it out. So like, and then I grew up as an athlete. I played basketball growing up. So I feel like people who grew up as an athlete grow up differently. You know what I mean? Like you get to test your limits, your body. You get pushed emotionally in places. You know what I mean? You're forced to work with other people you don't know and work as a team. Like the foundation one as an athlete for the rest of your life, I think sets you on the right path.
So how far did you get with basketball? I'm a baller too, man. I had scholarships the same and all that. I was out here.
Right. Don't make me pull out my highlight tape, man. Where's that? Let's load the highlight tape. Hey man, I was not that good actually, man. I was like the Ron Artest, of Chicago basketball. You know what I mean? Where like I was the enforcer. I'm playing defense hard. You know what I mean? I'm rebounding. I'm leading. You know what I'm saying? So I came out of high school maybe averaging 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, nothing major. But I went to a mid-division 1 school, and got school paid for free. You know what I mean? And didn't have a bill to pay right after that. So it was worth every penny, bro.
You said that shit very modest, in mid B1. You know what I'm saying?
SMU, it wasn't necessarily known as a basketball school until I left. Then of course they want to start making NCAA tournament, and balling out and all this other things. So I feel like me and my boys set the stage.
I ain't mad at that, big bro. So you're in college, you got the free ride, you're learning so much. What was your major? Was you majoring in marketing at that time, or what?
Bro, so like I was a young creative, man. Like I used to like draw when I was young. I used to like draw characters and new He-Man and weapons for my He-Man and all that kind of stuff. But I was really excited about houses, man. I wanted to be an architect growing up. In my town, I grew up in Oak Park, in Chicago, suburb of Chicago. And it was home to Frank Lloyd Wright's homes. So if you don't know Frank Lloyd Wright, dope, really, sleek lines and design. And I fell in love with his architecture and grew up wanting to be an architect. So like all through school, all through high school, I was in drafting tables, designing homes, and doing all that kind of thing. And that's what I wanted to be, man. I went to school to try to be an architect, but basketball overtook it. So when I went to SMU, they didn't even have an architecture degree. And I didn't realize that when I accepted my scholarship. So I ended up with getting into mechanical engineering, which is it's the furthest thing from architecture. And then I ended up with an advertising degree, which set me on my path.
Okay. And what was step one look like once you got the degree? What did you luck in? Because I lucked into this. It's a corporate. I lucked into that.
I lucked into everything, man. I had the worst senior college year ever. Like I had the worst coach. My coach for my basketball team, like didn't tell me that he wasn't going to renew my scholarship. I actually, my senior year when I was graduating, because I redshirted my freshman year, I had another year to play, right? I would have been able to get a master's in liberal arts. But that my senior year, my coach came to me right when in this March timeframe. He was like, "So what's your plans for next year?" I was like, "Well, I'm gonna compete for a spot." And my advisor said that, if I work hard, I'll be able to get a master's in liberal arts, just going 1 more year of school. He was like, "Well, you graduating, right?" I was like, yeah. He's like, "That's all. We just need to see you through graduation. We're gonna take that scholarship and we're gonna give it to a young guy." And I was like, and this is March. I'm graduating in May. So I had no resume. I hadn't done any work, thinking I had another year of school, bro. So I had to hustle. Luckily, I was running SMU had a basketball camp for young kids, and I was working that camp during that time frame. And the last day of that camp, one of the dads came out on the court and was like, "Man, my son really love working with you. I really appreciate you, man." I'm like, "What's your degree in?" I was like, I'm gonna get a degree in advertising. He's like, "Okay." Hands me his card. He's the president of a local ad agency in Dallas called DDB Needham. And literally graduation, I'm in an interview. A week later, I got my first advertising job.
That is he just randomly handed you
But it wasn't random though. What happened was I've been working with his son and being a good guy over here.
There it goes.
Treating his son well, putting all my effort in that led to something else, right? Led to him saying, "Oh, I love this guy Jabari. He's so-and-so, whatever it is." Gave me some goodwill for other people. You know what I mean? So you never know who you're working with, who you're talking to. You never know a good conversation, a good moment, a gesture of kindness. You know what I mean? What that can lead for you.
How far to lead you, man. I remember one of my mentors, Paxton, told me something. I think he said he landed I think was it the Washington National? It might have been a BET opportunity, but he said just from holding the door open for somebody. He was going in for an interview or something like that, held the door open for somebody, and they're just shooting the shit in the elevator. Yep. And then goes in the interview, and it's the same person he was shooting the shit with in the elevator. And he ends up getting the deal, closing the deal. Like you just never know. Like to your point, man. So what was it like when you get into it? So you get into advertising, you went behind the ears, bro. Like,
bruh, I tell you what, like, so one of my first first jobs, they smack the creativity out of you, man. So I came in as like an account executive, and when you go into advertising, there's actual creatives there, right? Their job is to come up with the ideas and the whatever, and the designs and so on and so forth. So if you came to them with an idea, man, you get kicked out of the room, dog. So like advertising back then was a space where if you weren't a creative, you better not have no ideas. Your job was not to come with an idea. Your job, every part of your job was to support the actual creatives.
To support but what classifies you as an actual creative?
If you went to Miami ad school at the time and you had this special ad school sort of background, and you were actually in the creative department at one of the world's greatest ad agencies, of course, that what made you, in the conversation around creativity. But what I learned though, because I'm like, all right, I'm like, what happened at that time frame when I was at Wieden and Kennedy, I was a young Black kid. And so at that time, culture was moving from hip hop culture to youth culture. Urban culture was basically taking over everything, right? Especially sports, basketball, Nike, right? So I'm in this all white ad agency with all white creatives working on Nike, and they see me, they're like, okay, a kid that knows culture, he's young, he played basketball, you know what I'm saying? And he has an advertising degree. Let's let this kid in the room, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, they couldn't get in the room. Like I was in there telling them what's going on, making sure they was hitting, Complex magazine, Source magazine, you know what I mean? I'm taking them to the club, I'm taking them to the concerts, I'm taking them to Rucker Park, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking them to where they can never really get in before, to get the true raw feeling, the insight, the culture, you know what I mean? You know what music is popping, you know what these kids, the lingo, when I'm taking the kids rooms in Queens, you know what I'm saying? And like cats, they didn't have that kind of access before, you know what I mean? They were shooting commercials where the ball go in the basket and the ball's rolling around the rim. I'm like, are you crazy as hell? I'm like, that rim need to pop. That net need to be like, you know what I'm saying?
Chain net on that thing.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little insights like that kept me in the room, kept me in the conversation. You know what I mean? And like I forever kept that under my belt. Like if you got insights about the audience, about your consumer, like everybody wants to hear. If you just got ideas, nobody gives a damn.
Message.
How do we make sure we get the value for knowing that information? How do we make sure we get market value for that?
Brother, just be that. Just gotta just be it. Everybody, we just gotta be more curious, you know what I mean? Like our egos are on 10, so we want everybody to ask us about us. When actually we need to start being more curious and asking more questions, you know what I mean? Imagine dating another person and all you do is talk about yourself. You don't ask them no questions. That'd be a tough relationship. So like I just try to get people to just be more curious about life, about other people, about other industries, about other things, you know what I mean? About things that are very foreign to you or that are not a part of your life. Get interested in those things, man.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, bro. This conversation, we 17 minutes in, and this shit is refreshing as hell. I didn't expect it. Like you remind me of me so much, bro. Like I'm looking at like
we in the mirror. Where my New York hat at? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's real shit. Like it is refreshing, bro. So starting off, like you said, you're at the agency. What did you branch off? Because like obviously the trajectory that you have, ain't no playbook for that, bro. So like
it's not a playbook, man. I think what it is, like when you're young, you just sort of going with the flow, man. Like there's no plan. Like I kind of was like, just what do I feel like? You know what I mean? And like God was putting me in the right path of certain things, so I had favor with a lot of things. But like when I was at Wieden and Kennedy, in the rooms and stuff, I was doing productions and doing photo shoots and that kind of stuff in LA. So I'm living in Portland, Oregon, no Black people, no infrastructure for no club, no nothing. I'm 19, 21 years old, you know what I'm saying? And it was like nothing for me other than this job. So here I am traveling to LA for photo shoots, and I'm like, kid from Chicago. I had my little diners club, you know what I'm saying? Credit card, yo. I was like, yo, and I'm on the Nike account, right? So like we staying at the nicest hotels, you know what I mean? We going out to the nicest dinners. We got a Nike person with you. You can get in any club. So like, I'm like, man, this is the life. How could you not be young and want to live in LA? So I found my way to an agency in LA and started working on houseofblues.com and got a spot down in Manhattan Beach, right on the water. with a friend of mine, man. I thought I was living the high life, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing, bro. I'm like 24, about to be 25 years old. I just come from the hottest agency. I'm living in LA on the Manhattan Beach. Man, my ego might have been on 400.
That's a problem right now, man. How you manage that? That's a problem right there, Manhattan Beach.
Hey,
Working
I
with
feel like God fixed that for me real fast, bro. So I was working for an agency, and it was right around the dot-com bust of that time frame. I forgot what year it was. It would have been 25 years ago because I just turned 25. Yeah. And so I was like, man, all right, I don't have no job on unemployment. Like, what I'm gonna do? I'm young and I'm in LA. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try out acting, and I'm gonna try out writing music. So when I got laid off, I just turned 25. I had just done a production with LL Cool J, and I had met his acting coach during that time frame, who was in LA. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna hit the acting coach. I'm gonna start taking acting classes. So literally, bro, I'm taking acting classes in LA, unemployed at night. I had to get another job because I was like trying to figure out money. So I'm a bouncer at night. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm taking acting classes. And for like the first year, and I'm modeling and stuff. So like the first year, I'm trying to figure it out, trying to get headshots, trying to figure out auditioning, until finally I got a break and ended up with a small guest role on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
What?
And yeah, I was like, got my SAG card. I was like, yeah, I made it. I made it. Now I'm about to meet Halle Berry. I'm about to marry Halle Berry. This shit about to be popping. You know what I'm saying? And then I get another role on Spin City with Charlie Sheen and Heather Locklear. I had my own little trailer. Bro, my head was on 10, dog. And then all of a sudden, I start interviewing after that. Nothing. Start going to another audition. No, crickets. Another audition, crickets. You start going to another audition, and you walk into a room, right? And the audition, the character that they're auditioning for, they have a description for that character, and you're reading it before you walk in the room, and it'll say, okay, 20-something male, tall, bald-headed, basketball, profile. I'm looking at this like, yo, this is me.
This is me.
I got it. So I walk in, I'm ready. I'm working on my lines and stuff all night. I will go and put in my gear. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. I tell my mom and everything, I'm about to get this. I go into the room with auditions where everybody's waiting in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Bruh, I see like the most handsome, tall dudes I seen on the Charmin commercial. I seen homeboy on Moesha. I'm like, oh, bruh, broad shoulders. Man, it's like you can't fuck with Fred. Bruh, Morris chestnuts up in there, dog. I'm like, how in the hell I'm gonna compete with these cats, man? And it just became the most humbling experience ever, dog. So you just getting declined. I don't get no call. One audition I went in, they laughed me out of the audition, bro. And literally, that'll do something to your ego. And when you think you this shit, and now you just getting declined. You was at the top ad agency. Now you wearing a tight ass shirt as a bouncer in the club. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even the hip hop club. It's a pub. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the back. I ain't even got no power to let nobody in the front door. I'm in the back door, make sure nobody sneak in the back door. So like,
you people in the club.
Bro.
Are you trying to keep people in the club?
Exactly. It was terrible, man. So like that was the most humbling experience of my life. I did that for 2 years. And like finally, like it was like a year where I didn't get nothing else. And then finally I got a role in a Ja Rule video. And then the song is me living it up and say, do I do? The song is living it up. Yeah, with Case and Ja Rule. So I got a little spot in that, man. Probably paid me $100. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to do this, man. You know what I mean? I was dating the woman who is my wife right now. And I was like, man, I can't be no broke actor. You know what I'm saying? Eating.
Oh, brother, and living it up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a degree. You know what I'm saying? I played basketball. I got work experience. Like, I can't be no bum out here,
That's real shit.
So I ended up, after 2 years, man, I hung up the acting thing, didn't meet Halle Berry, you know what I'm saying, and ended up going back into advertising.
Well, what was the one movie that you wish you would have got that you auditioned for at that time? What was the one movie that you was like, holy shit, I got like this one I want to get, not I need it, I want to get it.
Yes. I wanted to get 2 roles. One I knew I would never get. And the other one I thought for sure I was gonna get. There was a role of like the head the star's best friend boyfriend on the show called Alias back in the day with Jennifer Garner, and she was like this, secret agent. And I was like, man, it was a big show at the time. A big agency was sort of repping it. And I was like, and I had an audition. It didn't go well, so I didn't get that. But I really, really wanted that one. But the one that I wanted, knew I wasn't gonna get, but had an audition for, was a role that Cat Williams ended up getting in. And I think it was the second Friday. It was a pimp role.
You auditioned for Money Mike? No,
man, bruh. And I'm like, bro, I'm the most white collar dude that you could ever meet. How I'm gonna play this pimp? So I obviously didn't get that role. And if I'm going against Cat Williams, there's no competition. You know what I'm saying? So, but to have to like play a character would have been fun. You know what I mean? Other than just sort of play the tall black dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just found out I wasn't that good of an actor, so I should probably go back to work.
Just because you didn't get the role doesn't mean you was a good actor, though. I'm gonna give you a little joke.
True.
I can see the head detective, Living Color. You my big the head detective.
Exactly. I see. If I'd have been working with Keenan Ivory, I'd have had some nice roles. You know what I'm saying?
You've been out here. You've been to the moon.
Exactly. Plus, I'm 6'5". Oh, there was a role. There was a time I got a role on Moesha. It was on Eve. Remember the show with Eve? Eve back in the day. Yeah. So I got on a show with her, and it was a basketball scene, but all the actors was super short. I'm 6'5", so I go on set. All the actors are real short. I go on the basketball court. They got the rim lowered so the other guys don't look so short, and I look like a giant. So we started to shoot the scene, and the director's like, get this guy out of here. He's messing up the whole scene. Pay him and let him go home. So, bro, I'm like, I'm too tall. I can't get no roles. Let me get up out of here, man. Let me move on. But 2 years I did that, man. 2 years, and it was the most humbling, fun, creative, experience that I've ever had. Connected with people on a different level. You start like when you're not a part of the working world during the day and you're a part of the night world where you're a waiter or a bouncer or like bartender, like that's a whole different world, a whole different lifestyle that you sort of tap into. That gave me great perspective, man, and a good, you sort of like, I looked at my life differently. You know what I mean?
That's real talk, man. So, and what was the first opportunity after that? Like, so now, like, we tried acting. We with a young lady. Who's going to be my wife.
Yeah, man.
Build, bro. Like, what is the first opportunity that you take? What was the one?
Yeah, so I ended up going back into advertising, and getting into strategy. I was like, all right, like strategy instead of just like being like the account person, because I knew that I was bringing insights. I was bringing stories. You know what I mean? I was bringing the culture. I was like, that's what a strategist does, right? It brings insights. It brings people into the world of others. You know what I mean? It illuminates someone's life, someone's story, someone's journey, so that other people can understand it and play a role in injecting in that storyline. And so I was like, that's really what a strategist is. You know what I mean? So I ended up going back into strategy at a multicultural agency because I kind of had to go backwards in order to go forward again, since I was switching industries. And I wouldn't call it backwards. It's just sort of different than my path I was on.
That's it.
And but it was dope because at this agency, it was called Muse, Cordero, Chin and Partners. So they worked on the Black, Hispanic, and Asian versions of what they would call general market advertising. So if Honda did a big campaign, they do a Black version of it, and it would be our agency, and they run that spot with Black people on BET and also, but it'd be the same car. So like I did that for a couple of years where I really learned how to be a strategist, where I like dug into the work, you know what I mean, where I figured out the nuts and bolts of the job as opposed to sort of just winging it, being the guy,
But wait, quick question, big bro. How do we make sure, because you're in a role that a lot of us are in, right? Like, first of all, there are a lot of us now in that space. But when we talk about culture, how do we make sure when we're in those roles, the culture doesn't get exploited?
That's our job. That's the point of being in the role. You know what I'm saying? Our job is to make sure that doesn't happen by any means necessary. You know what I mean? And that our job is to push leverage the company dollars and their megaphone to push the culture forward. You know what I mean? And you're not room, unfortunately. You can't be in every room. You can't be in every conversation. So it's not solely on your shoulders to make a company, culturally relevant or to make sure they don't say something or do something stupid. You know what I mean? Because we're not always in every decision-making room, but we are there for a reason. And that is our job. Part of our job is to ensure the safety of the company. They don't say something, do something, and that they're doing things to to bring positivity to people's lives. I mean, that's what every company is about. It's about serving their audience. You know what I mean? And right now, the audience right now is youth culture. Youth culture is culture. See what I'm saying? So if you're serving youth culture, you got to be serving the culture.
Message. Yeah, never lie. Damn, I never thought of it that way. So it's like, you're right, but like you said, bro, you broke it down so beautifully, bro, because we're not in every single room. You could give the advice, you could give the strategy, and they still may want to go left with it, and there may be nothing we can do about it, right? I'm pretty sure there was
a team sport.
Yeah.
Marketing is a team sport, bro. Like, it's like saying, like, you can play basketball and determine every outcome of the game. You know what I mean? You could want your big man to post up every time, but he may want to just shoot threes this game. You know what I'm saying? And you can yell at him at the end, but he gonna do what he gonna do. So I'm saying, in a corporation, you got many more teammates than the 5 you got on the court that you're trying to influence, that you're trying to keep on the same page, that you're trying to drive a strategy with, that you're trying to understand a brand and how it halos across what everybody else is doing. Is a hard thing to do, man.
So what advice would you give to the young brothers and sisters that may be in that role right now? How do we gain influence in those rooms, and how do we sell our idea in those rooms?
Like I said, man, nobody cares about your ideas. Like, everybody got ideas. What is the insight? What is the understanding? If you got a new learning, a new insight, a new learning about the competition, a new insight about the business, a new insight about the culture or the consumer, everybody wants to know about that, because it's going to help everybody's job. You can get in any room talking about that. If you come in and talking about, I got it, and then ideas come off of that, off of those insights and data. So now your idea is going to be stronger because you started with, guess what I learned about our audience, or just what this data just told me. You know what I'm saying? And what if, because of this data, what if? You see what I'm saying?
That's
like, if you were somebody, if you were doing something to help somebody else in their job, that's more powerful, you know what I mean, than coming up with ideas. Like, everybody got ideas.
Everybody got ideas. Bring value.
That's not valuable. That's not valuable ideas. The ideas are a dime a dozen. I can see, if you give me a topic, I could throw out 100 ideas right now. That's not value.
It's the strategy and the execution behind the idea that really drives it, man. Oh, I'm with you, big bro. I'm with you, bro.
That's it, man. What's that unique insight? What's distinct about it? You know what I mean? And a lot of us, especially with AI now, we all gonna have the same tools. We got the same data, we got the same prompts. So I believe now creativity is gonna be a lot more, and taste is gonna be a lot more, prominent now. It's gonna be a lot more important because of AI. But before, and like, again, I can tell AI to spit out 100 ideas for whatever thing I want. It's not valuable.
That's real talk, bro. That's real talk. So I'm curious for you. I usually ask this late in the journey, but I'm curious now. So we talking. I'm going to ask you, one, what is your mama made it moment in this industry? What is the one moment which you looked back and was like, holy crap, I can't believe I did this? And then two, what is the toughest moment you experienced in this industry, bro?
Oh man, the mama I made it industry. The mama I made it moment was when I made it to Nike. By far, you know what I mean? A kid from Chicago going on a Nike camp, like getting a Nike offer and going on the Nike campus, and then helping Nike basketball develop its first ever sort of positioning and do research. Man, I was like, man, you can't tell me nothing, dog. Like, young in my life and career, you know what I mean? That was right when I had bought my first house in Portland. I had my first kid. I had my kids in Portland. So I was that was like a foundational time for me at that moment. You know what I mean? Mama, I made it. It's bigger than Nike. Like, it gave me the ability to build a family and a life around Nike. You know what I'm saying? That was huge for me, and that's why I stayed there for a decade, because I grew up there. I learned how to be a marketer there. I learned how to be a leader there. You know what I mean? I learned how to be a storyteller. I learned how what business is like globally. You know what I mean? And like that's and you can take that as a young person, and you could take that foundation young and build on that. That was everything for me, man. Another moment is when I went to go work for Will Smith. That was always on my bucket list, was just to meet Will Smith. You know what I mean? I always loved him as an actor, grew up doing the Fresh Prince and all that. And to be able to be like, yo, mom, I'm working for Will Smith. And not only that, I'm helping him build his empire and helping him take his career from that Will to this next Will, who's now leading with social and partnering with brands and doing all this stuff around, digital and YouTube and all. Bro, that was like a dream, until the worst moment. One of the toughest moments of my career. It was a couple ones. One was where things were going well with Will. Great. We had just launched King Richard, Bel Air, And this dude decides he wants to smack the shit out of Chris Rock.
So you was involved with all this strategy from King. Basically, you helping him. You with Will side by side, developing and launching the brand. The Westbrook brand just got, and you guys are going. You guys got great content.
We cranking, dog. 2 years, 85 million in revenue, building the team from 0 to 15. You know, brands like Google, Coinbase, like all these major brands want to work with us. We're launching movies, TV shows, video games, clothing brand. We was working on a liquor brand. We was gonna launch around it, brother. He was hot on social. Every morning, everybody's looking to see what Will did on social, bro. It was like the hottest thing ever. He was like riding a rocket ship, and then all of a sudden the fuel went out, and you just,
bro, he was like the positive 50 Cent. Like 5 years before that happened, like people would dead ass go in the morning. You see his shit on the feed, like he's jumping off a cliff somewhere and doing something
like crazy.
It was fire.
Doing something crazy. So like, you know, that was tough, man, because I felt like, you know, for brands, I felt like that's the new frontier is entertainment. Like everybody was moving towards performance marketing and, you know, optimizing and these crappy performance marketing ads. But I thought, like, you know, what if you could create marketing that people will pay you for? You know what I'm saying?
Message.
The Barbie movie as an example, Lego movie as an example. And I feel like entertainment is that next frontier. And I think they're starting to see that. Like a lot of brands, Chime, you know, Chick-fil-A, a lot of these brands are now creating studios and creating their own content. They're buying, you know, scripts early on that they can develop in partnership with studios. And I think that's the new frontier, man.
It only makes sense. You
Absolutely.
get to control the narrative and have a say in what goes out, and actually still go D2C and control when the consumer gets it. But it's just too many.
And entertain your consumer instead of, like, you know what I mean? Instead of interrupt them
all the time.
Yeah. So, and you can sell during that. You can sell spots and dots around that content, right? And obviously your content's in the middle of it, but like, you know, give me something that's enriching my life, not like interrupting my feed. You know what I mean?
Message.
And not interrupting my feed, man. Damn, but yeah, I'm curious. So what was going through your head? Like, you ain't got to tell me all specifics, but what was going through your head when that moment happened for you? You're running the company with Will. That happened. Yeah. Like, when you hear that shit happen, like, what is running through your head? And you're like, what do we do?
I knew it was done. Like, I come from the brand side. You know what I mean? I know that a lot of them were already worried about working with a celebrity because, you know, you put your brand behind a celebrity, they could do whatever they want around that. You know what I mean? So I knew that there was already a little bit of fear around working with celebrities. As soon as I saw it happen, we were live. We were at the Roosevelt Theater, the whole company dressed up in tuxes. The where they have the Oscars is right across the street. So we was expecting him to win his Oscar for King Richard and then come over and party with us. We had emails set for the next day to all of our clients of like, yo, Will won this. You know what I mean? We're going to celebrate him, so on and so forth. Bruh, it was within, like, we were in the basement watching it, and so we didn't have cell service. So as soon as the Oscars was over, we came upstairs in the Hotel Roosevelt. My phone blew up, bro. I probably had like 400 messages, all the way from like my babysitter from like 8th grade texting me like, "Was that real? Was that real?" Like everybody could think of, man. Literally, I had 100 texts to say, "Was that real?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm watching on TV just like you. It's not like I'm Will calling me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me and Will wasn't best friends. This is not working for him. You know what I mean? And so, and then he goes silent. So imagine a whole company that's built around Will, and he decided to just go silent. No social, no brand deals, no conversations, no apology, no nothing.
That's
impressive. So what you think a company of 15, 20 people are doing? His films that he was working on, they're still doing their stuff. They're still doing development, long-term stuff, right? Editing the TV show. But the marketing team, what you think we was doing?
Yeah, trying to avoid a crisis. You're already in the midst of the crisis. You can't avoid this shit.
There's nothing to avoid. Like, clients is calling us. We don't know what happened. We don't know what Will's saying. We don't know if he's sorry. We don't know none of that. So like, we just sitting around, not knowing anything, just like everybody else, until he decides to apologize. And then we started giving money back, bro. Like, to brands. Is like, all right, this campaign's canceled. He clearly not gonna launch this. He clearly not gonna launch that now for your brand. So we ended up literally closing deals, giving money back.
Oh man!
And then about within 6 weeks later, the whole team is laid off.
6 weeks later, that's crazy, bro. And so what happens from there? You got a family. You was at Nike for 12 years, bro. Was at Google, was at Lyft, and now I bet on us, which is not a bad thing. It's a lesson.
Yeah. Hey, bro, if you ever been laid off, you ain't lived, you ain't had a career yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's part of being in that career, you know what I'm saying? And so luckily I was here in LA, which is where I wanted to be anyway when I took the job. So it got me here to LA with my family, my family settled down, got a crib. But I started to think about like, all right, man, like what's next for me? I done did all these big jobs. I've gone to entertainment. Like, what do I want to do now? You know what I mean? And what's important to me? And I stopped really thinking about jobs, and I really started thinking about myself as God's seed. You know what I'm saying? So like, let me explain that is like, if I gave you an apple seed and I told you to draw what you think this was born to become, you draw this big, beautiful apple tree, right? If I gave you a sunflower seed, I say, draw what you think this was born to become, you draw this beautiful sunflower. So why would we be any different? If I gave you a Jabari seed and I said, what do you think this was born to become? You would probably draw the most magnificent version of Jabari too, right? But we would only become that, and the plant would only become that if it's in the right environment with the right nutrients, right? And you plant the apple seed in the desert, it's probably going to grow into something, a little stickling, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't going to grow into what it was born to become, right? You take the apple seed, you put it in the rainforest, it's going to grow into something, but not what it was born to become. And so we have to figure that out as individuals. Like, what kind of seed are we? And therefore, which kind of environment is going to like make us the most magnificent version of ourselves? It's going to give us our nutrients. It's going to turn us into, you know what I'm saying, Diana Ross, where our hair is flowing in the wind. You know what I'm saying? We on stage with glistening on. You know what I'm saying? Like what is that feeling? And we deserve that feeling. We belong in that feeling. You know what I'm saying? But too many of us, we wallow in other environments. You know what I mean? Or we let our ego push us into other environments which are not actually feeding us, man, which are not giving us what we need. And so therefore we're growing, but we're not growing into what we was born to become. And so other people look at us funny. They're like, man, why is this is a funny looking apple tree? Why the apples all brown on this apple tree? Why it look like that? Why it's all sideways like that? And they blame the apple tree. When it's actually the reason it's like that is because of the environment.
Message.
Apple tree. And so luckily we got legs and we got a conscience. We can get up and we can change environments. You know what I'm saying? But we got to let go of our ego. We got to let go of what we think we should belong. Or my mama told me, no matter what, she's like, Jabari, you could do anything. Anywhere you go, you belong. You can grow. I grew up thinking I can go anywhere, do anything, be anything. And that's just like saying an apple tree can grow anywhere. What it can, but will it be grow into what it was born to become? And so my journey was trying to figure that out. I was on fire at Nike, man. I was doing my best work. I was learning. I was challenged. I had bosses that were that believed in me, that wanted me to win, but were hard on me, that were teaching me the right way. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, that was my environment, and I was like, well, maybe I'll try something new. And so then I go over to Silicon Valley, you know what I mean, with Google and Lyft, and I'm like, okay, I don't really look like nobody here, and nobody talking about sports, and nobody I'm talking about, the new Kendrick Lamar battle, and nobody talking about it because they're not in the culture. So I'm like, I didn't feel right. I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like I was around people that were like me. You know what I mean? So I was just there doing work, but I wasn't thriving. So people were like, man, why would you leave Google? Man, that's a dream job. I was like, but I didn't feel like I belong. Is it a dream job if you walk out every day and you don't even feel like you belong there?
No, it's easy to say you want Halle Berry till you get Halle Berry. And then you have Halle Berry. And then you be like, holy shit, that's just my girl. That's Halle Berry. That's like the best thing I can think of, bro.
Bruh. You know what I'm saying? So then I had to learn. I'm like, why am I not thriving here? I don't get it. I'm still not figuring it out. Then I go over to Lyft. I'm trying to do my thing. I'm like, why am I not connecting here? At Lyft, they made it so that, at Nike, when presentations was everything, man. When we give a presentation on, a product or an idea, or when we were launching, or during Super Bowl or whatever, like the presentation, the deck was immaculate, the photos, the font, everything was just designed forward. You know what I'm saying? I go over to Lyft, And the founder's like, yo, I don't like decks. I want everybody to write in Word format, and no more presentations. If you got an idea, I want you to write it in Word. I want you to send it to me early, and then we'll have a meeting, and I'll just go over the red lines on the document.
A deck? Nah.
What the shit?
Bruh.
In Word, a deck in Word format? As a salesperson, I never heard that in my life, bro.
Bruh. And I'm like, but I came from Nike. You don't you want to do the stuff that Nike does? Like,
this is excellence, ain't it? This is what we're aspiring to be, right? Like,
but in that place, he's like, yo, I see 100 presentations a day, and I'm tired of seeing different styles and different forms. I was like, so you want everybody just to be like you then? That's the answer, right? You want everybody to conform so you can understand everything. And he was like, "Whoa, I didn't mean it like that." I was like, "But that's what you want, right?" Like, I'm like, "But that's not me. I'm not going to conform. I don't present well the way you want me to present. So what you're going to get from me is not good apples."
Message.
Be mad that the apples is brown.
Brown, yeah.
When I told you this ain't the environment that's going to give you what you want. And so people don't understand that, man. So I'm really trying to communicate that both to leaders and to young people, because as a leader, what's your job? Your job is to create the environment so that the seedling can grow. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to create the nutrients in the environment, not to be the boss, not to tell them what to do. You know what I mean? Not to be the smartest person in the room. Your job is to create a greenhouse so that like-minded plants can flourish and grow. And all of y'all want what those plants produce, right? Whether it's bananas, apples, whatever it is, right? And then you can decide what do you name the apples and how big are they, how much you charge them, what kind of basket do you sell them in, what is the markets that you go to? Like, those are all the things we worry about before we actually worry about the beautiful little seedling tree.
But then let's break that down, though, brother. Let's break that down, right? First of all, let's go for the younger generation, right? I can only speak for myself and people that I know that don't like me, bro. It was the proximity to success. What made me successful was the fact that what you just said too. My mama told me I could be anything I want. So I had access to a job. My mom's assistant principal, bro. I could have had a $40K job right out of high school. And my high school years were fucking tumultuous. I was fucking out there, bro. I was out there. Maybe at 20, I was out there.
Okay.
I was wild the F out. Told her no. You know what? I went from making I went to make from a lot of money to making $10 an hour, bro, at Starbucks. Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to Lepanqua to the Inn. I was smelling like ribs at BBQs, walking from Fordham Road all the way down to Parkchester. And I told my mom, I don't need the $40K job because that's not me.
That's not me.
I gotta figure it out. This is just my process. Went through loan origination. Went through a sales job, bro. I don't know if you know this, bro. I'm probably the only. First of all, I'm the only person from the Bronx that worked from Cans. I am the only brother, black man that worked for Cans from the Bronx. I'm telling you, was early there. I did that shit when I was 24, bro. They was giving black cards and shit out. I was like, holy shit, a black card is thick as hell. You can't even swipe that shit.
You can't even stick it in the gas station thing. No,
you gotta swipe that shit slow. You know what I'm talking about, bro? And the mom in the Bronx, I tell my people, they can't even understand it. Right, but it's how to get to that proximity. I had to go out there, but most of us not willing to take the journey. What I say is always, it's never the talent in our community. It's always the process.
Absolutely, but they don't have the proximity to those type of people, man. So you're gonna be who you surround yourself with, man. You surround yourself with those people. You see that stuff as possible. You're like, oh, that's what I'm doing. Oh, he's doing that. I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? But you only gonna be who you surround yourself with.
How many? Let's keep it all the way real, bro. You know what the problem with the show is? Not the problem, it's a great problem. The great problem with the show is, right? I get so many people like yourself, and they'll be like, yo, the CMO AKQA, would they know that? Would they search that? Would they know? We're not looking for it.
We're not. But that's why this show is important though, man. Because you're elevating people. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're not looking for it. So it's like, yo, bro, would you know that this one did this? Did you know that Joy Allen Ultimate was the CMO of Saucony? Did you know that? Did you know a black woman was running that globally? Did you know Walter Gear is doing this? Did you know this is doing that? Did you know Paxton Baker from Compton, youngest of 9, owns a sports team? Did you know?
They don't know because that kind of stuff doesn't get elevated. It's not their fault. Those kind of places, they don't get on the Joe Rogan podcast. They got to get on your podcast.
Come on, man. Message. Also got to give accountability too, because we can look. We have the access. Same way, bro. And let's talk about that. On LinkedIn, On LinkedIn, bro, I gave myself a shot. I just said, you know what? I'm a brother that knows marketing and sales. I've been in Cannes. I've been a VP at 25. I know all these things. But guess what? I'm an account executive. I had to go all the way back. A
Yes,
VP
sir.
with P&L of 10 million. I had to be an account executive. You talk about humbling? Talk about humbling?
All the way back. All the way back.
All the way. And guess what? Put the hat and hoodie on. And I said, you know what? This is me. I'm from the Bronx. I don't care. And that's when shit, boom. But that's when I started seeing you. I started seeing Julian. I started seeing Kobe because I'm opening my algorithm to see something different.
Something different, exactly.
Something different.
Yeah, you got to find it. That's being curious, though. It's not gonna just come across your lap, man. That's like saying you're gonna run across a bag of money on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
You're positioned for it, though. You gotta be there.
You got to be curious to know that it is out, that something's out there. You may not know what's out there, but I'm gonna be curious to go see what it is. I'm gonna go check out some podcasts. I'm gonna go to some conferences. I'm gonna ask some homies.
Come on, there you go. Keep it all the way real. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what you did for me, bro. And we're gonna talk about the Monday Night Mentorship. Real shit.
Doubt.
Real shit, bro. I early in my LinkedIn journey, I'm saying that I'm averaging like 20 million views a year, 10 million, 15 a year, easy. I'm one of the OGs on LinkedIn, bro. So I'm sitting there looking at your joint, and I'm like, damn, bro, you look like me, bro. Like you out there. I gotta know because I'm too real. They don't let me in them doors, bro. I had opportunity to go to Google and all of this. Too much red tape. I gotta be me. Too much red tape. So when I saw you, bro, I told my cousin we had just started our business. We park up right in front of the spot that you did it in New York, bro. What are the odds of this shit? I hop out the car. As soon as we hop out the car, you and Julian are coming out the van. A cab.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And all I heard was, yo, Jarrett. I said, holy shit. I kept it cool, Shan. But I was like, nah, Shan, they know me? Nah, the bros know me.
Bro, we know you.
And that was a moment for me. I'm going to keep it. That was a moment for me. And you know what? It made me just keep going. Keep going. These brothers know me. They're just like me. There's no difference, man.
Difference.
From the same point. We walked in together, bro. We got on the mic. We had fun, man. We had drinks. We had a great
time, man. We're bringing that back, man. We're bringing that back.
Had a great time there. Matter of fact, I'll come up with receipts. Let's show them. Let's show them that.
Oh, look at that.
Put the receipts. Let's show them the receipts.
Hey, black men together doing positive things. Nothing like it. Look at those brothers, man.
Man, if I put it back, you know, bro, you know what it showed me? It showed me that, guess what, man? You guys know me. You guys, gave me time, gave me game. Who else won't give me game, man? We was probably episode 13 when this happened. You're on episode 269, brother.
What?
200. I do 100 episodes a year.
Bruh, make a sound for yourself.
Come on, brother. I gotta hold on, man.
Yeah.
100 episodes a year.
I love that.
As a marketer, I would love to hear your approach, because my approach is, the mission is the mission. I don't care if I get 100 views, 1,000 views, 1,000,000 views. We're the million views. We're averaging 300 across all platforms. But guess what? I want to build a relationship.
No doubt.
That's what I'm here for, bro. I'm here for the relationships. And guess what? I don't care if I don't have big distribution yet. I'm going to fund this shit myself, because guess what? They need to see Jabari.
Bro,
they need to see Paxton.
It's got to build.
They need to see this shit. And I don't care what it's like. But you know what I'm going to be? In let's say 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You know what? You're going to have access to everybody I spoke to before and after. And so does everybody. And now what does that community look like? And we have something in common. And that's my vision for this, bro. So anybody can help the Monday Night Mentorship and bring big bros on, or anybody, bro, that we can help with this shit. Because I just want to tell people I'm from the bro. I'm sitting Indian style on my couch now. Drinking a dingo, chilling. Like, that's what it is. Anything is possible, man.
No doubt. Absolutely.
You go open, you go through the window like bruh, man.
Bruh, man.
Figure it out. Figure it out, man. I appreciate all the comments. Love, man. But you really gave me something just like, yo, I can do it.
Bro, that's what it's about, man. Like everybody wants to make everything look crazy or hard. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to do me. I got to have my thing, me. But man, if we just, the feeling I get when I help another person, the feeling I get when I say something off the cuff and somebody's like, oh my God, that changed my perspective. You know what that does for me?
Changes everything, bro.
Make my whole day, man. So I spend a whole day doing work, going to staff meetings, doing whatever, and I'm like unfulfilled. I spent one afternoon on Monday Night Mentorship on a call, Zoom, with a bunch of brown faces smiling back at me and looking for, to grow and to learn something. That changed my whole week, man.
That's the method. Let's talk. tell the people what Monday Night Mentorship is, bro. How can
Absolutely.
they join? And if you can, tell us one great story that you've had from it. What's
Oh man, like
story,
yeah. So Monday Night Mentorship is a mentorship community that me and a friend of mine co-founded, Julian Duncan.
Shout out to Jada.
And you know, it happened during the pandemic. I was at Lyft. I had about 250 people working for me at the time, the biggest team I'd ever had. I just welcomed everybody to the team and seen everybody in person, went out to the markets, and the pandemic hit. Rideshare hit hard. Nobody wanted to get into a Lyft. All the people in the markets, in the local markets, have nothing to do sitting around. Boss comes to me and is like, you got to cut the budget. That means cut the people. I had to cut 200 of my 250 person team on a Zoom. I'm sitting there with legal right here, HR right here. I got a script that I can't go off of. Everybody on a Zoom on mute, and I had to let everybody go. I was the most depressing thing into the pandemic where you don't know what's happening. You don't know what jobs are happening. I mean, you know, these are great people. And I was like, yo, I was depressed, man. And I was like, what are we gonna do? I called my boy Julian, like, what are we gonna do, man? Like, how can we support people? And we ended up brainstorming. I have this like affinity towards action. Like, we got to do something, you know. And we just like, yo, let's just do office hours, man. Let's just see what people need. We don't even know what people need. Like, let's see what people need first. So I went on LinkedIn. I was like, yo, anybody needs support? I know it's been a lot of people laid off and affected by this pandemic. And it's been especially hit people of color harder than everyone else. Like me and Julian, I'm gonna invite anybody else I can to support y'all. We'll be here every Monday at 5:30 for any mentorship. I go to sleep, wake up the next morning, look at LinkedIn, bruh, it went insane. Like 8,000 responses. Like people like, I want to be a part of Monday Night Mentorship. I want to be a part of. So the community started naming it Monday Night Mentorship. I'm like, all right, we're gonna call it Monday Night Mentorship. 5:30 is gonna be a Zoom. And then half of the people were like, yo, how can I help you? How can I support you? I want to mentor. I want to help. So basically, I there was a woman named Sari D, she's so super dope, and she runs her own executive coaching business, and she's really focused on women. But she hit me up, introduced herself. She's like, I can see this is overwhelming, and she's like, if you need some support, I got you. She's like, get you a professional Zoom, get you start doing a list of questions. So she really helped get us foundationally set up, man. And literally every Monday we would get on a Zoom, open it up, and just start answering questions. What about this? How do we do this? I'm trying to negotiate. I'm now a new manager. Or hey, how do I network? Or man, every question you could think of for a person who doesn't have support, man. Because if you think about it, there's nobody here for us, man. Like if you executive recruiters, like they pay for by companies. They're not really here for you. You know what I'm saying? Of course they're trying to get you a job, but they're paid for by the company and that's their boss, right? So if you have an executive coach at your job, like they're paid for by the company, HR, they're paid for by the company. Like who's here to really support you in your journey? Like
no one, bro. I didn't get a mentor until I was 33. So that's who was your mentor, bro? Who poured into you to help you pour into others?
Man, I didn't have one until I got to Nike, and so I was 30 something by then. You know what I mean?
Talk about.
And it was a brother that I remember going into Nike, and they have these big presentations, and I was an Olympic year when I went in there, and I sat down in the crowd, big old thing, looking around, not that many black people. You can spot the black people at Nike. And this brother gets on stage. He's the GM of the Olympics. His name is Chris Amon. This brother gets on immaculate all black suit, tall, you know what I'm saying? Handsome, articulate, sharing the story. He came on with a bow and arrow, you know what I'm saying? Shooting, apples on people's head. I'm sitting like, I ain't never seen no brother like this before, dog. Like, bro, I was like, I gotta meet this brother, man. So I went out on a limb, reached out to him, and you reach out to people, and people sometimes be acting funny, man. Like they don't respond, or they be acting funny. Oh, hit me next Wednesday. Let's get up. They don't be putting no dates on. Brother was like, yo, come to my office. And what's going on? How you feeling? Like, what you going through? And like almost like, man, maybe every week I would go into his office and like talk about what's going on, and he would give me advice and help me through situations, man. And like he's one of my best friends to today, man. It's like there's very few people that I can call mentors to me, especially black people and men on my journey.
You know what's something that resonated with me, because I did my research, bro. I listened to a couple other interviews you did.
Yeah.
One interview that I forgot the name. Sorry if I forgot you guys. But it was like, yo, had you not asked us, he basically what he told you was, I don't get too many of us asking me for mentorship.
Yes, that was Trevor Edwards. So the former brand president of Nike is a black dude too, and he took me under his wing, man, because he was one of those people who cared about insights and consumers and sport, right? So he was like, "You an athlete, you care about, you know what I mean?" So I like, we took a liking to one another, and he would allow me up in his office. He had a dope office up on the top floor next to all, Phil Knight and all them, and I go up there, talk to his admin, and get into his office and be able to pick his brain every now and then. I was super grateful for that, Trevor Edwards. But yeah, he was a British black dude, you know what I mean? So a little different from our growing up, but still like super gracious with his time, and that was a signal to me, is like, all right, these brothers are spending their time doing this. This is something I got to do. You know what I mean? Like, this is something I need to continue to pass forward to other people. And people would see me coming out of his office, and I feel almost bad. I feel like I got some secret information that everybody else didn't have. You know what I mean? And I started thinking, I'm like, why hoard the information, man? It was this brother that I work with at Nike. His name was Melvin Lindsay. You need to talk to Mel Lindsay. He's a dope dude. And Mel Lindsay was like, he was one of the first brothers that was like, yo, man, here's my career plan, and shared his deck that showed his career plan, his journey, and what he wanted to do. I was like, bro, you got a career journey? He's like, yeah, man, you need to get one of these. Here, I'm gonna show you how mine, and literally helped me think about, thinking about a career and a journey, and how I should plan that out, and how I should map that out. I was like, I'm super gracious for that brother, man. Like, to this day, I talked to him the other day, because not a lot of brothers will share their secrets, man. We were in competition for jobs, in a sense, you know what I mean? He was like, bro, don't worry about it. I'm helping you. You know what I mean?
Save yourself at that level. And save yourself, bro.
And that taught me a lot, man. That was one of my biggest influences. If he listening to it, like, he should know that.
And so what's, I ain't go front, bro. I'm gonna still here. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I got mad questions, bro. But I'm gonna give you the ISO. But what was one of the best games that either of those brothers gave you, that what was the best, and one thing that just hit you hard? He was like, shit.
Man, I got so many gems, right? But like,
ISO, baby, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, one of the dopest gems I got was not from one of the homies, but from one of my female friends back in the day, man. Like, I was dating my wife, but my girlfriend at the time, who was my wife, and she had broke it off with me because she didn't want to see other people. We were seeing other people. She didn't want to see other people. So I was like, cool. My ego was like, cool. All right, then, like, bet. I'm cool with that. And so I end up going to lunch with another girlfriend of mine, and telling her that, Rachel broke it off with me. She wasn't happy with seeing other people. And my girl asked me, she's like, really? How do you feel about that? And I was like, well, I really like Rachel. You know what I mean? I thought she was dope. I wish I could still see her, And she asked me the question that changed my life, and that I always ask other people, and that I always ask myself. She goes, so what are you going to do about it? And I was like, well, I guess I could go back over there and tell her I don't want to see other people too. And she was like, yeah, that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? And before that, my ego was like, yeah, man, forget her, man. She don't want to see me, whatever, you know what I mean? But she was like, what do you, if you like her, like, what are you going to do about it?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. And so now, like, I have a tattoo on my arm that says "Be the Change," because it's my personal motto, is to be the change and inspire it in others. And that's because it just reminds me to be, to do, to act, to say, to, like, there's action in that, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not happy with it, like, do something about it. What are you going to do about it? You can't be a victim. You know what I mean? You have a say in the storyline. You have something you can do about it. You can protest. A lot of things that we can do if it's something we don't like about it, as opposed to talk shit about it. And so that's, man, like, what are you going to do about it? Ask myself that question, and remember to be the change.
Be the change, brother. So I got like 3 questions back. I know it's a long day, bro. But we go all day. This is how I've had 4-hour podcasts. You see how? You see fucking how? This is we start sipping, we get started.
Exactly.
We start going, bro. But like, all right, one, you have a demanding professional career, right? How do you balance that between the mentorship, the work career, and family, bro? What do you do to balance and stay level, bro, and stay even killed?
Yeah.
That's the hard.
Once I don't balance it, family is first and most important thing. I don't balance it with other things. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not like work-life balance. It's work-life, integration. You know what I mean? Like as much as possible, I try to put the work and life together. Bring my kids to work with me, or bring my wife to certain events, or you know what I mean, like. And try to make those things together. And I didn't learn that till later. I almost got divorced messing around, flying around the world. My kids were young. My boys are 14 months apart, so they're like twins. I'm leaving my wife alone with the kids. And I'm thinking I'm traveling the world with Nike doing these things. And she's like, struggling, and it took me, me getting, after doing all this great stuff at Nike and them giving me a pat on the back and a nice little basic bonus, I was like, wait a minute, I almost killed myself and almost got a divorce for this.
Message.
And I was like, yo, who's gonna be there for you? Your family. Who cares when the company is done with you and they just run out of money and it's time to lay you off? Who's gonna pick you up that night? Who's gonna be there for you? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be your family, dog. You know what I mean? Like what's more important for me, going to Cannes, out there kicking it and doing all sorts of things, or going to my son's baseball game?
Yeah, that's
an easy answer, bro. Easy answer. And so certain things gotta give, man. You got 4 burners. You got your family, you got your work, you got yourself in there, your life basically, and your spirituality, and like your health. And some of those things is gonna give,
Some of them are gonna be on low flame.
And so for me, I chose the family just to stay on top as much as possible, man. And it's gonna be times where you gotta tell the family, hey, all right, I gotta go do this thing, right? That don't mean they're not the most important thing, right? And then I mean there's gonna be some exceptions, but I focus on family first.
Bro, I love that answer. But once again, it's what sacrifices we have to make in those moments to make sure that our family is straight, like just straight up,
good.
Especially where we are in the entrepreneur stage. Like, bro, I'll tell this story all the time. I'm not going to get you the long story. At times we had to go get an interview, and bro, we were the only people in the world that interviewed Rohan Mali in the Mali house. Bro, wow. It was 2 weeks before Christmas. It was Kwanzaa that year. It was almost Kwanzaa. We were doing emoji. Wow. I'm telling you, bro, it's what do you got to do? Yeah. And it's dealing with that. And so what I tell people is, like, when you choose to be him, it's certain sacrifice that you got to make, that you got to be comfortable with.
Absolutely.
When I was in corporate America, bro, I can make 6 figures. I'm a salesperson. I sell my ass.
That's easy.
Bro.
That's easy.
That's the easy part. What I realized when I got really good at sales, when I realized I could be myself and just unlock relationships, and that's what it was. I stopped looking at people as leads. Stopped looking at somebody in fucking
spreadsheets. That's right.
Spreadsheets and Excel sheets is call this number. No, they have a story. And if I know that story, I have a better likelihood to sell to that person because they trust me. That's like
method.
I lock that in, that's easy, but it's the other things, bro. It's the like, yo, all right, cool. Like my wife right here, she's sitting right next to me. Kid you not, listening to the pod, she's sitting commenting and shit, all types of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's
what's up, wifey?
What? Hey, say what up, baby.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, you see wifey right there. right here to the left. That's my baby. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but that's what we do for. But it's sacrifices, man. Like
absolutely.
I do this 2 days a week, bro. Sometimes 3 days a week. I have a 7-year-old. But guess what? You know what? I do it for those moments, and we all do it for those moments. That's like it made it all worth it. My son was 5. My son was 6 years old. He's talking to the CMO of McDonald's.
That's crazy.
My son is 6 years old. He went to school and said he spoke to the CMO of McDonald's.
But it's different. He saw his dad talking to the CMO of McDonald's, and my dad.
There we go.
Let me in on a conversation with the CMO of McDonald's.
Message.
Asked him how do he make fries. Asked him how he made fries. The was going crazy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Idaho. He told him too.
Yeah.
It's the way we put the oil and the grease and the bone thing. We cut this motherfucker on the triangle. He said,
That's dope. I love that. I love that. I want to know how you make fries. I love me some fries. Yeah.
Yo, bro, I was taking notes. I'm trying to maybe. I have
Seriously,
a
I get
McDonald's
them. Yeah, I don't need the McDonald's type fries, yo, for real.
I have me a McDonald's in Queens. Keep playing with me. I'm trying to get to the yams.
I love it. I love it.
Bro. So, bro, like bro, you've accomplished. You've done so much, bro. I've got to ask. First of all, there's no mountaintop, but where do you envision? Where do you see yourself? Where you could look back and be like, yo, I've given enough of myself. I've helped so many people. What is that mountaintop? It's never a mountaintop. It's a continuous journey. Yeah. What does that look like for you when you look back and say, I did it, bro?
Yeah, man. Like I see myself in like 3 trimesters. I see my life. First trimester is all about you trying to, grind, getting your thing, learning, sucking up as much as you can. The second trimester is about you, and then somebody else starts to enter that picture, whether you got a significant other, you got a team underneath you now, right? Like you got other people that you got to think about other than yourself. The third trimester, which I'm in, bro, which is until the end, is about everybody else. Like you're not thinking about you. I'm not trying to get 10 times better. Like everything that I soak in, I only soak in so that I can share.
Message.
You know what I'm saying? Because I came to the conclusion, like, all right, I could spend my time making Jabari 10% better, or I could spend my time making 10,000 more Jabaris.
Woo! Woo! That was real.
Now, what is going to be more important? What's going to be more valuable to the world? You know what I mean?
10,000. So for people listening, how do you filter? I'm just curious too. How do you filter? Who do you pour time into? Do you just trust the gut too? Like
yeah,
what is
man.
that like? You know
it's self-selected. I mean, it's pretty much like cats that have it. You know what I mean? It's no different. Like I said, like think about Rich Paul in Clutch Sports, right? Like how does he choose who he represents as an agency? You know what I mean? How did he choose LeBron? Like you choose the ones that show potential, that are putting in the work, that want to win, that want to be professionals. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want to work, collect a check, whatever. And some people want to be professionals. You know what I'm saying? And that's the people that I really want to spend time with. People that want to grow, that want to learn, that are curious. I'll like there's you think about a pyramid. I think about like helping people in a pyramid. The bottom of that pyramid is just advice. Right? Anybody walking around the street, I give advice. Hey, how you do that? I give advice to, right? Big, broad podcast, open information for everybody. The middle part is mentorship, right? That's where we played a lot. Right now, it's a little more focused. Hey, we're going to be on the thing. We're going to talk about these specific things that are going to help you grow. But I'm really focused on the top of that pyramid now, which is sponsorship. That is the good old boy network. I'm taking you under my wing. Like your success is my success. That's like the agent model. That's Rich Paul and LeBron, right? Like everything that you do, I'm thinking about your contracts. I'm thinking about your health. I'm thinking about your family. I'm thinking about your wife. I'm thinking about your spirituality. You see what I'm saying? Like it's holistic. Like, oh, I want you to win holistically. And everything I do every day is getting up to make sure you're successful. And when you're successful, I'm successful. You see what I'm saying? And so that's where I am right now, man, is really trying to, while everybody's about scale, everybody's about AI, I'm about personal and I'm about human.
Message.
That's real, bro. I felt that, yeah. So I'm gonna keep it even realer, bro. I'm gonna first, I know we wrapping up, so I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you.
No doubt.
First of all, bro, thank you for pulling up on the show.
Thank you for inviting me, man. I appreciate you. That should be in your couch seating Indian style too, man.
Yeah, I'm saying I got a little shit for you. I got a little stuff for you, whatever you prefer.
What you sipping on? What's that?
Little Duce with the Simplies. They gonna Simplies better give it Simply. Simply stop playing with us. But
hey, if you had a can on the show, maybe you might get a sponsorship. Come on, man.
I tried that for 10 episodes. They ain't holler.
Hey, keep going. Put a different can on there then. Put it away, you know what I'm saying?
By doing this, say just thank you, brother. Because like I said, bro, like I said with the story earlier, like you may have not known in that moment what that meant to me, but I'm gonna tell you, man. I went back after that day. We came back and we got busy. I shot every shot. I was shooting from half court, full court. I was shooting from the stands.
Wow.
That's it. Wow, that's
off
it.
the glass.
Off the glass.
Let's go.
Dang, I'm like lethal weapon, lethal shooter now. I understand it now.
That's on that. Lethal on that. I feel you.
Oh man, I understand it now. So
yeah.
That being said, bro, I just want to say thank you for creating the space. Thank you for inspiring brothers like us. And I've never done this on the show, bro. I would love to, have you as my brother, my mentor, bro. Like, it ain't gonna be every day or just, once a month to just check in. You see me slipping, you don't see something from me. Yo, JT, I ain't like that. That was, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Jay, you keep me in check. You know what I'm saying? Keep me real.
1,000. We need it.
That's all I ask, bro. If you do that, you know what I'm saying? And what I envision for this community, I want all of us, bro. In 5 years, I'm gonna be Clarence Avon to this shit.
Hey,
I'm telling you, bro. I'm gonna be the one that's connect. I'm gonna be the plug.
I love that.
I do it for the right reasons. Linwood Bibbins. I don't know if you know Linwood. I love the connection with
Linwood. Yeah.
Linwood is the man, bro. He said, he came on the show and his finest brim. And the finest brim. He came through with that shit on.
I love that.
He came through with that shit on. He said, you know what, JT? He said, yo, fellas, you know what this is? He said, this shit is the Bible. He said, you know how much content you have from so many people that are like us that don't give it, don't feel comfortable. When we talk over there, it's a different talk.
Bruh.
When we talk here, it's just I'm with my family.
Exactly.
It's
different. It's different.
He came through. I thought he was cooking on the barbecue. People was like, "Oh, what up, Unc?" He on the grill with the sandals and
the ashy sandals.
That shit.
I love that.
So for that, like, I'm appreciative to brothers like you, man, Julian, Coach, like just all the brothers that are doing it. Because if nobody tells you, I see and I know what you got to go through that you're not going to share.
No doubt.
And so I appreciate you for that, bro, because you make an opportunity. If it's not even for me, for my kid, somebody else's kid.
Appreciate you, man. Always.
That's real shit.
Always. Appreciate you having me, man. This has been fun, dog. I need to come back, man. I'm telling you, I'm coming to the Bronx.
Shit, whenever. Shit, we do in person. I'll tell you, we go get some jerk chicken. What do you want? I'll take you anywhere in the Bronx. We outside.
Bet. Let's call it.
We just had, bro, I was on Saturday in Queens. I just interviewed DMC. We just interviewed DMC. We had Mikey D on the show.
That's dope.
112, Ronnie DeVoe, Big Daddy Kane.
Man, I used to want to be DMC, man. My cousins was older than me, so they was running DMC, and I had to be Jam Master Jay, man.
Jam Master Jay he's actually the biggest one in the group.
I know, but he ain't had no lyrics. You know what I'm saying? He had no, you know what I'm saying?
Jay had the streets. And we going back to the youth culture. If you got the streets,
then you got the youth. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You know
Thanks for having me, man. This has been fun. I appreciate you.
It's love, my brother. So before we end, man, just welcome to the family. You know what we normally do. First of all, I get applaud. Your family now. Fuck that. I can't just slide through that. You are more than a type of family, brother. And what I want to say is, like I said it earlier, bro, anybody we've spoken to before, anybody we speak to after, you have access to.
Appreciate
All you gotta do is just say, bro, I see you talking to you. I would love to I don't care if it's work related, personal related, you just want to meet the person. I don't care what it is. 48 hours, you'll be in contact, bro. We'll probably be in Kansas this year.
Done.
All that stuff, I got you, bro. So I just want to say welcome to the family, and I'm honored to call you my
Appreciate you, brother.
I'm honored and I'm proud of you, bro. So just keep grinding and shining, man.
Thank you, man. You do the same, brother. I appreciate you. I got your back always. Appreciate everybody listening too, man.
Okay, the ones tuned in are the ones that need to hear it. They tapped in. With that being said, tap into Monday Night Mentorship. It's about to pull back up. We about to do big things. Maybe expect an event from us. We might do Monday Night Mentorship and more.
It's coming. It's coming. I can't wait to announce it. No doubt.
We're gonna do some shit, y'all. But support them, man. And where can they find you if they want to support further?
Hit me on LinkedIn, man. Jabari Hearn and LinkedIn. I respond to all messages.
LinkedIn. That's where I found the brother. I can attest to that. So you heard the story, y'all. You heard the story.
Simple story.
You heard it, man. The brother kept it real, man. First of all, like you said, he was doing basketball, got the full ride, had twists and turns. Everywhere he came, and every point, it was an obstacle he faced. Was being the right person, got the opportunity to be in the agency, right? Was going and was doing this, right? Like changed it, bet on himself to go into corporate America, going to Silicon Valley.
No doubt.
You know what? I could stay here and be comfortable, but I'm going to jump outside of my comfort zone to do X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
He himself with his family. He doesn't compromise with his family.
Exactly.
You heard the messages, y'all. So what that reiterates, the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately, y'all. We're gonna see you tomorrow.
Let's go.
We out of here.
What you know about me?